Mike Budenholzer replaces Frank Vogel as the head coach after the Suns were swept out of the first round by the T-Wolves. He'll try to bring Phoenix's defense, which finished number 13 in rating last season, to the stingy standards he had the Bucks performing at a couple of years ago. Now the Suns must address their depth after finishing last in bench scoring at just 26 points per game from their reserves. They've got the Suns 14th, middle of the pack. A middle-of-the-pack NBA basketball team. Now, there's 30 teams in the league. Again, they're basically smack right there in the middle. One spot away from being exactly in the middle. These are tough because the Suns are going to change their roster. They're going to try to fix that bench. They're going to add players. There's going to be a new mix of players surrounding the big three guys that they have. There is a new coach that you're hopeful is going to change the chemistry on the basketball team and just get guys more in sync and in tune with, playing the way that he wants them to play. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they were 14th in that list. I think that they could be higher. I mean, if you look at it, you're looking at teams ahead of them in the West. Let's just go with that because, that's what you got to look at. So in the West, they've got Denver ahead of them, Dallas ahead of them, Minnesota ahead of them, Oklahoma City ahead of them, the Clippers ahead of them, and New Orleans ahead of them.
Clippers and the Pelicans are the only two that I really contest with.
They got the Suns as the 7th best team in the West. 7th. That's playing tournament right there. Playing. Based on what they are right now. 49 wins, 33 losses, eliminated in the first round by a sweep. And not a lot of chances to make moves. I think they're better than that. They got to prove it. Because how many times last year did we sit here and say, they're better than this, they're better than this, they're better than this? Okay. Time to put your mouth where your money is, your money where your mouth
is, yes.
You put your money where your mouth is. Because we talked a lot of good games about how the Suns are much better than what you're seeing. But there were so many slip-ups last year, it became hard to use those as excuses. All of those poor losses that they had was okay, but they're capable of beating anybody. Yeah, okay, that was great. They were, and they did win 49 basketball games. The Mavericks win the NBA Finals. You know how many games they won in a regular season?
50.
50. One game more. There was a funny thing on the Bickley and Murata show today. They say, and it was kind of like the Celtics trounced the team that trounced the team that trounced the team that trounced the Suns. All right, laughing my ass off. That was funny. I was laughing. So the Celtics trounced Dallas, who trounced Minnesota, who trounced
Denver. And then the Wolves also trounced the Suns.
And also trounced the Suns.
Lots of trouncings
in a roundabout way, that's what they were doing. Trounce, the Sun, there's 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. The 7 degrees of how many teams trounced another team before you get to the Phoenix Suns. One of the other things that came out of the NBA Finals, and I got kind of a kick out of this, and I thought it was an interesting angle, was just, can we relate to this? They were talking about what Tatum and Brown achieved on Monday that says the Jays are no longer at risk of being written out of Boston's lore as talented also-rans. Mm-hmm. 2 young stars, both drafted by Boston, eventually brought the Celtics there at their 18th title. With the win, they transformed their past and their future. They're no longer haunted by the ghosts of past failures. All of the losses were simply plot points that culminated with Tatum doubled over, face in his hands, confetti pouring onto his back. Do we think that way about Devin Booker? Is he haunted by ghosts of past failures?
I think right now, yes. Because as we talk about every year, what's the ultimate goal, Gambo? Is to win the whole damn thing, right? Is to be an NBA champion. Tatum, and I don't want to go too far into this because they're relatively the same amount of playing time in the league, but Tatum was brought into a situation that was on the rise, had the year before taken Jaylen Brown, and they were in a very good spot. And Tatum came out of the gates firing. Devin Booker got drafted into a situation that, for lack of a better word, sucked. And sucked for a long time for Devin Booker.
It did.
And it's just now that we're starting to see, and the nation is starting to see, just how good Devin Booker is as an individual and how good the Suns can be when he is their lead individual.
Up 2-0 over the Bucks in the NBA Finals, you lose 4 games in a row. up 2-0 over the Mavericks the next year in the conference semifinals. Up 2-0, you lose. Tied 2-2 with the Nuggets last year, you lose. Conference semifinals. Swept by Minnesota this year, you didn't win a game. So I'll ask again, is Devin Booker haunted by ghosts of past failures? Because that's what they're saying about Tatum and Brown. Those guys were haunted by that. Now, the expectations in Boston are that they're going to win the championship every year. But have we not had the same expectations for 4 years in a row with the Suns now? Have we not gone into every season since they got Chris Paul and we realized that they were good? Have we not thought that this could be a championship caliber team? Have we not pushed our vacation time until after the NBA Finals because the possibility that the Suns could be in the NBA Finals? Have we not?
I think so. The first year with Chris Paul, I think we were tepid to assume that they'd be a top 6. We figured, okay, they'll be a play-in team at the minimum. And then they shocked the world and they were the 2nd seed. They shocked the world again, went all the way to the finals. And I think it was at that point, once they shocked everybody the first time, that we started to adjust our life around the Suns the way that we do now, right? We assume that every year, ever since the Suns made it as a 2 seed with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, we assume every year now that this is a team that will compete for the NBA Finals. Now we're just waiting for it to actually happen because every year there seems to be something that gets in their way, or they get to a point, as you've mentioned, up 2-0, several series in the last few years, and they just can't put it away.
As Jayson Tatum said, these last 7 years have been a roller coaster, up and down. I had to listen to all the blank that people said about me, and tonight it was worth it. Oh, my God. I hope one day we have that Devin Booker moment where he gets to say something like that. I hope we do. Lord knows we all want them to win. It would be great. It would be great if they can win. But when I was reading that, here's 2 great players that just won a championship talking about how they were haunted in the past by the failures of the past. How much are we haunted by the Suns' past failures? How much is Booker haunted by Suns' past failures? More him than anybody else. Paul wasn't here for all of it. Durant wasn't here for all of it. Beal was the only guy that's been here for all of those years. Milwaukee lost, Dallas lost, Denver lost, Minnesota lost. The only guy that was here for all 4 was Book. So if somebody is going to be haunted a little bit by it, then I think it would be Book.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.